The Alberta government has promised about $112 million and then appears to have reneged on that promise, or is at least holding on to the cash. So they want it tied to single-family home rebuilds. It sounds to me like the town is asking for more housing density. They want more
correct.
community units. But how did that manifest itself, and what people were talking to you about in the mountain town itself?
Well, we had a roundtable with local residents and businesses. In the meeting, that message was very, very consistent. The services are there on those sites where those new units will go for interim housing, and so they want to use their land efficiently. This is in the middle of a national park. Our national park lands are precious to not only Albertans but Canadians, and so it's important we preserve the landscape for this and future generations.
We wanted to spend some money to build homes. And it was contingent upon having leases for them, because our objective was to not solve the short and the long-term problem, is to build a bunch of homes, let people whose homes have been damaged or destroyed by fire live in them, pay rent there for however long it takes, and then put the homes on the market to add to the housing stock in Jasper, which we're constantly told they need more housing stock. But anyway, I guess the tougher news is they were never able to get those leases organized with Parks Canada and the federal government. And the good news is the federal government has now appointed a minister who seems to be on the job, and that's very helpful.
So with this pledge, this $112 million to build these 250 housing units in Jasper, given Jasper's limited space, how does the provincial government justify the approach to tying the funding to the construction of these permanent single-family homes? Like, are there plans to consider, or is there an open-mindedness to consider more space-efficient housing solutions?
Oh yeah, listen, our housing minister, Minister Nixon, I think he's done a great job on this, and he had his ministry talk to the manufactured homes producers, and everybody was willing to do anything. But the fact is, it's an emergency, so by that, time is important. And the homes that we could get right away were single family. We could have got multifamily homes that would have taken up to a year and a half longer, and that really doesn't fit the scenario of an emergency. So, we didn't have actually a preference.
The foundation of all of our recovery here. It's the foundation of social recovery. It's the foundation of our economic recovery. So housing is critical, interim housing in particular, to get the workforce back, to get people back into the community and connecting again. That's critical, and there's $30 million of the amount that was announced yesterday is going straight into interim housing. And so, yes, that's most welcome and so critical. People are living wherever they can right now. Ryan, that is part of the resilience that we've talked about of the people of Jasper, and they have found solutions for themselves. We are doing what we can to provide more opportunities for them. Some people are living in hotels in Jasper now because they don't have homes. Others have found accommodation within homes, in basements, wherever they can. There's still a large number of our residents, though, who are living elsewhere. There's a number in Hinton. They are spread out throughout the province, and they're anxious to come home as soon as that opportunity is available. And so the land has been serviced now since late November, early December. We've had service land available for interim housing, and it looks now that it will start to appear as early as next week, and that will be such a welcome relief for so many people.
Well, Alberta Ganger, one of our viewers right now live on YouTube, said they'd like to see Jasper build up more like the European mountain towns. There's a lot of talk about density and the like. My understanding is that the municipality wants to see more residential density, and the province doesn't. And that's the hang up on this $112 million that's been promised. What's actually going on?
Well, we had already committed with Parks Canada to higher density and residential development long before this fire ever hit. We understand that there are obligations being a community in a national park. In fact, in all of Canada, there are only 2 incorporated municipalities in national parks. We're one of them. Our town boundary is set in federal legislation, so not an easy thing to change at all. So recognizing all of that, we understood that if we are to deal with our growth pressures, then we needed higher density. So we already had plans for that in place. And since the fire, Parks Canada has taken the really receptive news to increase the requirement for density so that we can house more people in the same amount of land and make better use of the land that we have.